Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel. Today, in case you guys don't notice immediately, I'm a little tired, I am beat. This last week has been hell on earth, you know, not necessarily in a bad way. I've just been working a lot in my multiple jobs, you know, getting towards the end of the year, we're doing a lot of different projects and stuff. It's been really exhausting and I'm just, but today is my day off, so I'm going to be taking it to record a bunch of YouTube videos. You know, I had to show must go on. I gotta do this stuff for you guys here, you know. And if you notice that throughout the video I might be a little unenthusiastic or even kind of sleepy, it's just because of this, you know. But the show must go on, man. That's what YouTube is all about. But anyway, guys, so today I'm going to be talking about something that I consider to be really cool, and I have been wanting to do a video about this for a while, but I never really measured the script in a way that I could understand if it would be in the mixer or what's the damage, you know. So I decided to put it in what's the damage because I do have a somewhat of a that's nice. Well, the wind outside just blew right here, man. Nice little breeze. I'm probably gonna have to close that though so the wind doesn't interfere with the audio. The hell was I saying? Oh yes, something about virtual reality, but in a negative aspect, right? I'm pretty sure you guys know how VR technology works, you know. It is essentially a way for you to plug yourself into a virtual world, you know, that is a little bit different than what you're used to here in real life. You know, if you go into a VR setting, a lot of different things can happen. You know, you can make yourself be famous, rich, you know, wealth. You can kind of alter the reality in a way that's going to fit your needs a little more, you know. You can fulfill your wildest dreams and fantasies. And we do have this technology today in different ways, and I do believe the most popular is with gaming, you know, VR headsets that you can put on and do gameplays, and you literally put yourself into the game, you know. There are some very popular YouTubers who do this, you know, the most notable of which being Markiplier. I'm gonna leave a link to his channel up here, you know. Just go on YouTube and look up Markiplier VR. At this point, he probably has a bunch of different playlists, you know, of him doing gameplays in OVR, and it looks really, really good. Even though the VR games are still kind of primitive, some of them actually look pretty damn amazing, especially on the current gen consoles. And it's weird because it's a way for you to transport yourself into a fictional world, you know, with no consequences in the real world, except for what I'm going to be starting to talk about. Okay, I really have to close this window because the wind is really starting to kind of it's getting strong here. Hold on a second. Alrighty, there, totally closed. You know, it might get a little hot and stuffy in a few minutes, but at least there's not going to be any wind, you know, interference in the audio. But anyway, guys, so here's the thing. When you become so immersed in a virtual reality setting, there is a possibility, you know, it kind of, the likelihood of which varies, you know, from person to person, but I think that normally it's very likely that if you enjoy the experience, you're going to become more and more addicted to it, you know. And addiction is never used in a positive way. Addiction is always bad, you know. You can become addicted to something that's really good, like, I don't know, games or, I don't know, TV shows, movies, junk food. Junk food is bad, right? Things that taste good, that give you pleasure, you know? But you can also become addicted to, like, drugs, gambling, stealing, you know, committing crimes, you know? But in general, the word addiction, you know, is a synonym of exaggeration. So when you become addicted to something, you are doing it exaggeratedly, and that's not healthy for you at all, you know? And if you become addicted to virtual reality, there might come a time where you're going to start to blur the lines between you know, fiction and reality, as in the virtual reality and the real world out here, you know. And I think that this is a real problem that many people can face, you know, because the more rampant VR becomes, the more advanced it becomes, the more it evolves, the more that people in everyday lives can have access to it, you know. Because right now I do believe that VR is more popular with gamers, you know, but once it starts to become accessible to people in the general public outside of the gaming market, you know, like you can use VR to watch movies or TV shows and put yourself in them, you know, it starts to become very, very scary because it's going to overtake people, you know. It's like the concept of like we're starting to create technology that's so advanced that we're going to start to forget what it was like to what life was like before having them, like having I don't know, driverless cars or robots, you know, or this and that, you know. I think that the evolution of it is going to kind of there is a game called What Remains of Edith Finch that there's one segment, one chapter that plays around with this, where one of the characters has such a vivid imagination that while he's working a very boring job that's really dull, he starts starts to imagine something. His imagination goes crazy, and then he literally gets stuck in a virtual world in his own imagination where everything becomes so much more real that he loses track of what he's doing in real life and actually suffers a tragic accident, you know? So this is what VR represents to me, you know? It's really good. It's amazing technology, and I would love to have access to it myself, you know? But I'm kind of afraid of just how far it can go. You know, I'm really scared of how much the technology, how far the boundaries can be pushed in terms of the actual technology here, you know, because people are eventually going to start seeing VR as the reality, you know, because their virtual worlds are going to look so much better than in real life that they're just going to want to be there. I think gamers in general can relate, you know, because we might play a game like, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto or I was gonna say Minecraft, but that's not a good example. An actual realistic game. I don't know, The Sims, you know, where in real life you're a single loser who lives with your parents, but in The Sims, you know, you're a successful adult with a good job, making a lot of money, with a house and a family, you know, a nice car. So it's like the line is drawn there, where the virtual reality world, the fictional gaming world is so much better than the real world that the person starts to get depressed. Like, my life sucks out here, so why should I spend less time in the game, you know? So this is where the addiction starts to really kick in. In case you guys don't know, I actually have had 2 virtual reality experiences, you know, which I documented here on my channel. You know, you guys can go to the... there is one in particular that I think I'm gonna highlight here, which is called Virtual Reality Force, you know, that I experienced when I went to JediCon in 2017 back in Rio de Janeiro. And if you go to my JediCon playlist, you're going to actually see a few different videos there, you know. But this one specifically, you know, shows a lot more how the experience is, you know, and I really enjoyed going through it. It was really cool. And while it was happening, I kind of how can I explain? I sort of felt a little detached from the world, you know, even though it was only for a few minutes, you know. Like, after about a minute or two, you start to kind of feel yourself so immersed in the world, and it was in a place where I couldn't hear anything, you know, like I could only see the virtual reality. I wasn't wearing headphones with sound that I can remember, you know, so I could still hear the surroundings around me, the people at the convention, you know, the guys talking to me and orienting me, you know. So I wasn't fully immersed. Like, if I were wearing headphones that actually played the sound, I think the effect would be a lot stronger, you know. But and it's a very crappy game, you know. It wasn't like 4K, a PS5, Xbox Series X quality, you know. It was kind of meh, but it still felt really powerful, you know. It's some very strong technology behind VR, man. You guys have no idea, and I hope you all get the chance to experience it one day the same way that I did, you know. But I try to imagine, what if this was virtual reality done today, you know, on like a modern video game console or a really powerful PC, you know. And you actually had some really good modern VR headset with, you know, like noise canceling headphones where you just hear what's in the game, you know. I mean, depending on what you play, you might even temporarily forget that you're in the damn game, you know. Like, it becomes so real that you kind of like, you become so immersed, because when I play a game, you know, especially on my new 4K TV, which is a 50-incher, I really feel immersed. You know, I play a game like Forza Horizon 5, I really truly feel like I'm driving a car, you know. If I play a war game like Halo or Gears of War or Call of Duty, I feel like I'm actually there in the war, you know. If I play a sports game, you know, I feel like I'm actually there playing the sport, you know. So imagine virtual reality, you know, first person, you actually doing what the character does, you know. So there are pros and cons to it, you know. One of the pros is that it makes the experience much better, you know. It makes you really feel immersed in the game, you know, puts you in the shoes of the character literally. But the cons, like I said, you know, one of them is that it just becomes way too addictive, you know. It's like you at one point you play a game in virtual reality, you have an amazing time, then you have to go to sleep to wake up the next day to work your, you know, boring 9 to 5 job, you know, if your job really is boring. Me personally, I love all of my jobs. I love what I do, being a teacher and teaching in a lot of different places, you know. But sometimes I can relate to people who say, for example, that their jobs suck and this and that, because I have worked jobs that I didn't like in the past, you know. But I don't know. It's just an opinion that I have about VR, you know, that I think is, it's not exactly misguided. I think it does come from some sort of belief that any exaggeration is bad, you know, for you. And the day might come where virtual reality looks so good that it's gonna pretty much be like the episode of Black Mirror. Do you guys remember? If you saw Black Mirror, there was one episode where this office worker, he comes home and has a virtual reality simulator that's very realistic, you know? He literally goes inside of the game and has a few characters based on models of his coworkers, you know? It's really crazy and it's very real, and unfortunately he uses it for his own personal gain. He does bad things, you know? He's kind of like the antagonist of the episode. He doesn't really use it for a good cause, but you know, used correctly, used as just a means to entertain yourself, you know, and give yourself pleasure, as wrong as that may have sounded, you know, you guys know what I mean, you know. If you're using it just for your own personal gain to make yourself feel better and give yourself a good time, there's nothing wrong with it, you know. But of course, when you do what that character did and use the VR to hurt people outside of it, then it just becomes a little, you know, you're going down the wrong path there. Look guys, look, I'm not trying to like hate on VR technology or anything of the sort, you know. I am a pretty big fan, you know. I wish I had one so I could play on my Xbox, you know, but I don't think I would abuse it too much, you know, because at the end of the day, even though VR is a really good piece of technology that's here to stay, you can't beat the classics, man. You can't beat just, you know, grabbing a controller, sitting back on your couch after a long day and just playing and looking at your TV like a normal human being, you know, because VR is exhausting, you know. It's tiring, it takes a lot out of you emotionally, psychologically, especially if you're playing a horror game, you know. It just gets really it gets painful, man. You know, I've seen Markiplier, for example, crying after playing a horror game in VR. You know, it's a really painful experience, and I don't think I would ever do something like this specifically, but if I had the opportunity, I don't know, maybe, you know, you could never say never to these kinds of things. You know, sorry to pull a Justin Bieber, but, you know, I think that there is a limit to it, you know. There is a limit to where VR can be pushed, you know, and if we hit that limit, I don't think there's going to be any turning back, you know. I mean, the world is becoming much more advanced and modern in terms of technology, you know, and, you know, when we evolve, when we get to a certain point, it's hard to look back, you know. A few years ago, phones, you know, phones had buttons on them, you know. They started to become less and less. iPhones had just one button, you know, and now the phones are completely full screen. The tablets I think always have been. No, they haven't, but now tablets and phones are all completely full screen, you know, and it's really hard to, once you get used to it, it's hard to go back to using a phone that has a button anywhere on it, you know. It's really complicated. So I just hope that VR doesn't take away the experience of playing a game the old-fashioned way, you know, which I'm gonna be doing later because I gotta do some gameplays for you guys. But anyway, I think that's it. I really don't know what else I can say. I just wanted to share my opinion about this. I knew it might be a little short, you know, and hopefully you guys agree with me, or even if you don't, if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. Let's have a little debate. Tell me what you think, you know. And as always, if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And might as well also hit the notification button to know exactly what time I upload and get those notifications from the Chazzy. Maybe one day I'll do some virtual reality gameplays here for you guys so we can actually have a better field test of it, you know? Anyway, that's it, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.